Je sanje do bara sho sanje je dan so je janjo bardo dane ja son che da ge jin so je be so nam je ando la ben je sanje do bara sho je dan so je janam la janjo bardo dane ja son che da ge jin so je be so nam je ando la ben je sanje do bara sho. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and by the merit created in this practice, I might attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Kange dujingi zongwa tawa tamja pambe chiri tambe chini tanzi kodam de la chata lo. Yada. 다 오늘 정원만 종가버 전부 갈단 라게메 거기 가서 오르다 대시계약이 고급된 시중에다 오늘 저진이 시루이야 버렸다 오늘 지름부치기 있다 니유게 담바다 랍침부치 차버려 왔다 빠져 송야라 되기 펜도고래 소놈 살아야 펜도고래 보다티 인디가라 덴디지 고급 덴디지 중앙에 랍첨보레 보다티 인디가라 간지 생인되기 저이나 감 즉 장주기 셈기 주마천지기 살담네 킹바당 아갈당 덴디기 정원도 마찬가지네 시에고에 라보에 다 제시게고에 다 영원지나 오늘 장주기 셈 주마천지 살담네 보다 년거에도 쉽게 전부 잡아버렸어.
Having this kind of opportunity for ourselves to study and engage in the understanding of this, short text by Lama Tsongkhapa, the 100 deities of joyful realm. It's very auspicious and fortunate to have this kind of opportunity for ourselves, and this practice is considered as the involving lineage, instruction lineages from Lama Tsongkhapa himself. And from both speaker as well as listeners, it is important to have listen with artificial mind, not genuine, even generating fake or artificial mind.
근데 이거라 장주기 셈기 찌진거를 세대 장주기 셈 생인데 간디진 받아 이 뭐다 저거래 대기 지부지게 전부 차대요래 완전 라진도는 접주치 장주스미 얘기니 송도아 장동 내용도 걸라 뭐다 랑게 된 세대 장주기 셈스니 계고고아 두고아래 진den스나 장주기 셈나 진den이 하고래요 말에 진den 가절려나 장주기 셈 툴로 맞으나 진den이 매다 개개개 뭐 진den지 이니 장주기 셈 툴로 주나 진den 신데 오네 즉 소소 하게 간디시 제롱 물려 갭제되는 배 진den을 줬어야지 자와 탐전 진den을 줬어야지 된지 용과 인도가 배 자동론 저 간디시나 아니 배 손남사하게 윤두고 하래 아니 창계기 에 윤두고 아래 디자인이 에 냠는 냠는 동이도베 아니베 디짐베 동이도베 로데 아니 시드기 냠버두고 아래 딘디들라 시부지 납침버리 딘디들라 라신된 가르치베나 장주기 있으면 영해요 말이야 장주기 있으면 시부지께 전부 잡아라 남봉은 잡았나
And whatever practice that we do, doing under the influence of or under the power of altruistic mind is very important, and for that, of course, we need to have a good understanding of what this altruistic mind means. In the practice of receiving vows of bodhisattvas, it talks about the importance of or the significance of altruistic mind to fulfill your own benefit as well as to fulfill the benefits of others. Both are done through or by altruistic mind. So therefore, generating altruistic mind, once you generated altruistic mind, whatever activities that you perform, even small kind of gestures and movement, including of course eating, walking, whatever you do, all activities becomes a pro kind of enlightened activity, and it takes you towards ultimate enlightenment. And on top of that, if you add understanding of emptiness, then that becomes antidote for even the subtlest obscurations, cognitive obscurations. So therefore, you can see the importance of altruistic mind in Buddhist practice.
어다 덴데기 손남 랍침고 침보 라징이 전 두에 심지나 깨고 그래 깨다 유멜레요 해요 말 규대 가라고 와서나 너데게나 디니저 디자와니진데 저 손나진 어다 니지 미남 깨야돼 니 단다 안한조 파마인데겐지나 랑게 불은 미베 자와지어래 때 자와데 에니베 깨깨네 심진 탄젤레 니름에 바지 념투베지 닌지 텐디지 깨투비나 어다 대인겐데 나랑 겐틴도 내 마치는 수치 내 제거서 텐디지 니도 마케 버도 다 니지도 공부해야 미남 장과래 뒤윤도 미남 장과래 어다 뒤윤이 미남 겐을 어다 다와 친스나 가데 갈래 론로디가 아니고 셈나 닌지 스디가는 물겨 자야지다 셈나 아니 대화만다지 코 맘맘슈슈 영화에 열에 여름 무지 수업 어떤 산다 자기 생지들이 근데 갈음 나용디가라 아니 배 전착실에다 되는 용도와 되는 용도가 오늘 니지 생인데 시부지께 전벌이 가지 진정 코르드 개비 니지 생인데 디 니지 심전 탐지기 동안 선득이 로데 난 괜티샤 네 저거 나마도 수지 되니지 로직 개고 와래 대란 규정이어래 오늘 진다 만체데 다 심전 망보지 머리 비정왕도 손에 니지 생인데 간대지 곰구구여 간대지 니지 생인데 미남 간대지 깡구구여 시대요 말에 오늘 안한서 오늘 라마 집가서 그래 교황하면 레리 단대 네배 람게베 생인데 은 추진집이 여름진 딘디기 람산텐난 거래 어다 딘디가 로고가 애니 때는 왕보상 애니 삼로단적이나 차상상 애니 배자지나 도스지 차상지 튕경 맨날만도 단다 튕경 원이여래 튕경 여백값도 맞지나 튕경 대상 달소나 양쪽 튕경 좀 약하버려 어다 딘디 삼단에 애니 제거에 유기전돼서 삼로단보다 쉬우진 내쳐버려 있어
So that kind of altruism, which is best way to accumulate positive merits, and also that help us to fulfill your own necessities and fulfill and benefit other sentient beings, and that kind of altruistic mind or awakening mind or bodhicitta does not came about or arises without causes. And so when we try to find what is the cause or seed of that altruistic mind, in the sutra ornament it says the root or the seed of that is compassionate thought or compassion. And so therefore comes the importance of practice of compassion. The compassion that we have right now, such as parents' compassion towards children, we can use that as a foundation or as a basis, and then gradually kind of extend that compassion towards every sentient beings, and to such a level where not only you have this strong earnest desire to alleviate suffering of other sentient beings, but you take your own responsibility that this is something that I must perform. So training your thought, and however that training of thought will take continuous months and years, and it's a long gradual process, but you can reach to the point where just reflecting on compassion, it becomes kind of very powerful, and it can it can give you blissful experiences and sensation. And we can see that sometimes in His Holiness teachings, when he talks about altruism and compassion, how he becomes emotional. And so this kind of strengthening your thought to such a level where you want to elevate and benefit personally suffering of other sentient beings, and that kind of compassionate thought must be generated, must be produced. The reason is because when we look out, there are many other sentient beings who are completely lacking this kind of understanding out of ignorance, or maybe many other different reasons. But when you look at yourself, you need to kind of remind and recognize your this kind of fortunate state that because of your past karmic actions, you have come to this situation where you have access to every facilities, including great teachers like His Holiness, and you are fully equipped physically, mentally, and you have access to all kind of teaching textbook and resources. So this is the kind of right time to engage in these kind of practices. Once when we are separate, depart from this kind of conducive atmosphere, then it will be extremely difficult to engage back in this kind of compassionate action.
어서 두서 삼다네 랑기 셈나라 삽샤지 마게 버도 아니더니 미주 마담 버도 삼다 아니도 신이 니지 미남 양양도 täm 니지라 과야고 자장주기 셈생들 과야고 차나 되니 전주나라 지시 남칸네 바나 로아티시 내기네 디시 자이터 내기나 로에동아 세월쇼 신디기 딱 몰람들라 지고여 송도와 경거무지 anything any jochade chik samutang indugala semnala one foba kyadam semnala ni pe tinghe machune sichisi ni padi legire ne semnan dingjo chimbuji dingjo ti leyongri sa sungdoa ota ti mone dire temada tape nganzo jibasosi kiwojigi tendichi tubu marasa chichikiga 그럼마다 심전동중동에 세기르지 됐더니 니도땅 뽑아다 간데시 레그리 오다 로 콤베선리 레겨와리 콤나라 얼마게 뭐다 간 요마 인즈 전주는 대송도와 오다 아니 로 콤베 초수 땅을 차오 세송도 남들나라 로 콤바신디 시부지 투천보다 니바천보래 오다 대인도가라 디 초진이 미게 셈젤랑 아주 장구가 말로 콤베 왕기 게임구도 또 차선데 지금 알갈선데 가서 슈춤 게임구도 왔다 디나신 왜 초들한테 나신 아무한 슈주고 게임 마게 버터 장과데 시부진 내 첨버리 왔다 두스네 게 전부 차고 왔다 된리기 있으면 뽑아 말래 버도 미남 장과데 시부지 게 첨버리
So we need to engage in the practice of meditation or compassion, visualization, until and unless our heart or mind gets some kind of changes or transformation. So and that can happen when you kind of engage in the practice of altruism and compassion again and again, over and over. When once you get a genuine understanding of altruism, compassion, then that makes your thought, your attitude extremely encouraging. It will give a sense of confidence that you will gain, and so therefore it is important to kind of train your thought, engage in the practice of meditation until and unless you reach to that kind of level, and when you reach to that level, then they will have that kind of confidence, encouragement, determination, commitment, as His Holiness often recite this prayer for as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. You can get that kind of encouragement, that kind of mental strength. And of course, for ordinary people trying to achieve that kind of strength, that I'm going to remove suffering of all other sentient beings, is something that is beyond our imagination, something that is beyond our kind of reach, and let alone kind of trying to engage. But through the practice of compassion and altruism, we can attain this kind of strength of our mind, and this comes from the practice of, again, practice of familiarity, as Shantideva mentioned in his text Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. There's nothing that is difficult once you get familiar with that, and therefore also in the Valid Cognition commentary it says that we must take our mind to the practice of familiarity, and through familiarity we can make our mind extremely powerful, and we know that not in our kind of positive thought, but when we look at our negative thought and negative emotions, how powerful our attachment, our arrogance, all those negative emotions, and those become powerful because of a continuous familiarity with with that kind of emotions. And we can do exactly same with strengthening and boosting the power of our positive emotions.
다둥 지대 샘견을 근데 꼼나 덴디지 수춤부 자기 연나 지대 샘기 연된데 연된데 꼼나 때리긴 수체도 니바 탐에도 배야 요건지 차거래지 어떻게 인디가라 직에 가서 꼼발랩주가 돼 시우지게 전부 차디어 어디도 쓰네 아니 겨울무 승도와 장주기 샘대도 아니 배 마음반에 수세샘대 샘경 장주기 샘경 오다 니징올라 야 로당해지다 아니 밖에 치시 참에 걸라 아니 배 샘원에 참다 샘게 어세고라 샘대 깨요레스 샘대 어생올라 그래요레스 어다 이 대차대 샘지점 차르도 아니 미게 왔다서 그때 이걸로 레벨 거래요 아주 fupakia de doati kiti samdang de gala semna ngone tematap thandi kokaptela machina digmidu samsamji ngudwa oda teyala ta thunge mangbuji changure parche sewala ni jamola ma chonga ba chemboda ni be ji denjegi ta be phagi zambazamo ngone nduna paldan zambugun zesha jo ta jermuchena de lamen najur yenla dingyu kone 초사 소남사 아니 대이고네 빠르제세야 다 모두주야다 강가 연구하러 어다 덴디기 직나 수승원이 지나 다 융기 저지고는 마찬 맨데긴지 차디어레스 어다 대인들라 대디주야레 다데 마 유고스
and the strength of our mind, which are so powerful and really effective. In fact, as we mentioned before, those negative, attitudes, not the positive one. And still, kind of more encouraging here is that, as His Holiness often kind of explains, how, when you engage in promotion and development of positive emotions, they can develop to the extent beyond limit. And that doesn't happen with the negative emotions. So he talks about, when you engage and try to develop and promote altruistic mind, compassion, loving kindness, they can coexist with the subtlest, of the mind, the most subtlest mind, even at the time of dying. And you can, clay-light, subtle mind can coexist with the compassion, with the altruistic mind. And on the other hand, those negative emotions or attitudes or mental factors, they cannot coexist. They cannot stay that kind of long, with a subtle mind. And so that also becomes further kind of reason to give us encouragement, self confidence, and that we should engage in these kind of practices. And to engage and to have that kind of practices, what is better time than now? When you have all kind of facilities and conditions and resources and access. For that also, in Buddhist practice, we talk about creating a conducive atmosphere or circumstances and purifications of obstacles, and there are many approaches, method, and the one that we are studying here is Lama Tsongkhapa's short text, and also 7 limb practices, which is primarily used for accumulations of positive merits, and when you look at the facilities, resources, the texts and scriptures, these are all exist with us. And so the only thing that is needed is your own effort and interest. Engage personally in those text practice and take advantages for yourself.
Oda tindigalata kesan jujujene Ganden sediga kanche dollar jidunane jibata chare. Tira ne Galdengi tonen gombe sudu page Gaden ikachin sinela yazap 다 미방공부 투간에 제압스마 timbe는 렌자 인디 이 랑게 민산들의 생기게 답에 티장도 이 즉 지름체 이 해요와 대근들이 일라드는 거네 소남사로와 다 두저된 걸 냈대요래 어떻게 인도가 tim바데 딱 바깥이나 맞춰봤지니 자와데 시부지 내 첨버스 숨도 어때 tim비 윤데 맞춰봤지 삼당 투부에나 치가 나가라 아니베 디 균도 삼당데나 포테도 그래서 숨도 숨길라 되게 오늘 개 첨부 차대요래서 어디 tim바데 맞춰봐지 미남 장투나 배 미스베 야워서 숨도 없이 언다 라마닌 슝고들 랩디요래서
근데 이거 진짜로 겨우 참바 쏘는 것이.
이 방금은 겨우 참바. 그래. 두간 마된 장거래서.
So in this practice, we mentioned before what visualization that you do, and we talked about inviting Lama Tsongkhapa and his true disciple from the heart of the Maitreya Buddha, from the joyful land, which is the 4th of the 6 realms of desire, deities or God. So you visualize inviting, 3 this figure, Lama Tsongkhapa at the center, and 2 of his disciples from the heart of Maitreya Buddha, and when you do that visualization, process, it is important to kind of keep that continuation of in the image. If you look at the assembly tree, you see a stream of cloud line. That is important, and because in the oral tradition there's a saying that when you maintain that continuity, every visualization or meditation, that can also help at the time of dying in transference of one's consciousness.
Oda ti ngus yo marta ta te khadu de ni ba yan la de gon ji che chan ju de baldan savel la men go de la to so samdan ngone so mi je ba sa gong ina samdan ne ni jer yapse sum de jer mbje le tim jer mbje ni ku janji ni ti we gi ranji pe rangi jizu gona ma den de baldan savel la ma mbje vaagi ningar pelde denjula katin chimbe goni jisu huzung tukyungu tu tsaldo sol seya wada dire ta peja khajina jior zere yore dini ninga pa juya tu susungu are ta karsa tanda zungrum je sungin jena ani jizu tambo jizu la dini ninga la dus chebana pe chik phage yang 지금 마다용 그래 들린인가 카돌 인가라 되는 주시잖아 디에네베 미남데데 상자 야가요래 숨균된도 뒤인지가라 다기 인기를 뺄때 된 줄라스 다 닝스디 지단 디바지요래 닝데 고배왕게 길레콩 닝페만 답겠지 아니 디나 니페 길리 주야기 어디도 상고 거래스
We in the text we finished going through those 7 limb or 7 branch practices, and now the next verse. If you're looking at this prayer book, it's on page 24. So after finishing those 7 limb branch practices, now here you can take a pause and visualize by reciting on Lama Tsongkhapa's short prayer, and then you can have this visualization. Although there is no that prayer in between here, but you can recite that, and then you can do this visualization meditation that two of his disciples kind of dissolves back into Lama Tsongkhapa, and then Lama Tsongkhapa kind of enters to your body. Either kind of to the tip of head, or at your crown, or kind of coming to your heart. And in the prayer, you see, "Come, I pray, and sit, my root lamas, shining and precious upon the lotus in my heart. Take me after you in great kindness. Grant that I attain your body, speech, and mind." So in the text, sometimes there's would when you invite to your heart, lotus in my heart. Sometimes you find upon your crown. There are 2 ways, but one of the great master Song Rinpoche used to say that when you use both, sometimes it is kind of uncomfortable, and so therefore easiest and precise for your visualization, it is good to just use just one, that is lotus in my heart. So although our heart is, as you know, anatomically it's little to your left side, but for the purpose of this meditation you bring heart at the center, and you visualize heart kind of opening like a lotus flower with 8 petals, and then you visualize kind of inviting Lama Tsongkhapa to your heart.
Wada sola tabiga chide eni rang ningala june ni pe ta susu samutang tumna lama ku eni pe ngaranzo ishiranang tu ku cha de ra tagazo tamal zujin chayo bar tindi tomi indi judebo ora ngaranzo ningala wada dusjene tindi kla machi bordo lama randa lama ngo yarmi ndamila samutang wa eni pe phagi galden iga chinjini zonde timbade machi bata samutang wa odo dusure 다 솔라tabia 치들라 치 이리 엔베 이지코니 우고르 버디어레스.
So after making this kind of request, the prayer that we just said, you invite your Lama Tsongkhapa, teacher, to your heart, and And here, the body of Lama Tsongkhapa is not like a body of ordinary human being, with this kind of solid aggregate form and shape. But you can visualize Lama's body in very kind of appearance of wisdom, and so you can visualize Lama staying in your heart for the rest of your lifetime, always kind of reminding or have that visualization. And then along with that, as said before, it is kind of connected with the joyful land or Tushita heaven with that stream of cloud. So and so with that visualization, when you make actual kind of prayer, then there are different kind of several different lengths of prayer, and we called 4 cycle, 5, 6, 7, and 4 to 9 cycle of prayer of Lama Tsongkhapa.
Timbala namkhale de timbategi samdang kyo tesamare ngone lami roba indukala ishigi roba indukala ishi ranan tuba chadi yore te indukala ngaso magin mache bata samdang yarge jinlep gini pat tending yongaji chadi yore.
And the stream of cloud, again, that shouldn't be visualizing or just imagining, the ordinary cloud. That is also kind of, it's like a wisdom body, unlike ordinary. And that kind of visualization can be really beneficial in kind of, receiving blessings of your Lama continuously.
Tidela mizima jigorni ugor pordio ache ta solo tebe rimbadela chi tsumba salge gone solo tebya na yun ten tending gone solo tebya ngo labela dai ngo yerme dul tabe gone solo tebya ta rimba sumyor es.
Chi kalam begisha
chi tsumba salje rabo ndo sayaji
nang
jerum nang yun ten tending jerum tape dos junaya abdo jerum bcheda ani cherezi jizun jambe ya ani chana dorje digidi ani pe jerum digitela ani jambe ya chidani kharab ge da pocha diore cherezi ani 장주 기심 경하다 차를 장주 기심 수수tumde 괜찮아요. 차나들이 니바수수tumde 야와 탐적인 니바수수 컨티뉴스 수수tumde 구스데숨데 제름 붙이 때 숨가는 라본도 제발했다. 때 숨근 니바들 내 마진도 세대 치 숨바살 제보는 소라테 상도 수레예스. 어디 티디 미메체베터체 제레 티메 김에 온 잠베양 리후 마니 좀 상외다 완전 캐피스긴 송가 로상 잡이잡로 소완데프잖아. tanda di musica ngagordresi.
So in making this request, in your visualization, you can, there's 3 ways of doing it. What we call, first one is external resemblance, second is internal resemblance, and third, inseparability of Lama Tsongkhapa with those 3 emanations of compassion, which is Avalokiteshvara, and then emanation of wisdom of all Buddhas, that is Manjushri, and then emanation of all the power or activities of all Buddhas, that is Vajrapani. So in external resemblance, in your visualization, what you are saying or visualizing is that Lama Tsongkhapa is Avalokiteshvara, he is Manjushri, and he is Vajrapani. So and with that, the recitation of the actual prayer, as commonly the one that you have in your prayer book, you are Avalokiteshvara, a great treasure of compassion, not aimed at dualistic existence, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, Vajrapani, who smashes all the armies of demons, O Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the lands of snows, Losang Chakwa, I make request at your feet. So
What?
this prayer is 5 cycle or 5 line prayer to Lama Tsongkhapa.
당 오더 두스지나 디고 딘디기 삼다네니 미제반 짜바이나 치중바 살지고네 소라자 대상사 차디요래 치에니 베 장다 리숨 공부라 윤된 칸디 진덴바나진 아니 제름부터 덴두세 치중바 살지고네 소라자상 두수 메바게네 아니 베 미제반 사게이나 치중바 살지고네 소라자고네 딱 모두 주야래 두세 nang yunten tenen zedigal ta zabru war telikan quartaru dang inbe nivachel ware oda demba zammaimba ol yo zammaimba ta nangi enbe jerumbuchila kande jerezi kandel dengeni ninsho tamje jerumbuchendu jambeala kande yegen kembeda ap kendade jerumbuchendu bagin rabodu labra ta konduina ta eni 차나들지라 간데시 뉴비 연대 여건들 이제는 붙여는 누 스디가라 딱 시부지 연된 렘바데 원에 서로한테 연대고라 뉴바체로다 된 자거리 어디다 두스지네 난 연된 땡땡 원에 서로한테 파스 공 치 총바살제들 자본 두스라 총바 총구도 세야 되지 단단 덴샤 스디가라 낭 연된데 까르기어들 덴두 스디가라 고 잡르고도 와.
So the first way of doing practice or visualization and then requesting for blessing, you can do with, as said before, external resemblance. And here, what you are simply saying is that Lama Tsongkhapa, you resemblance, Avalokiteshvara, you resemble, you look same as Manjushri, you are same as Vajrapani. So more kind of externally, and then you recite this prayer and ask for blessings or make prayers, make wishes, and the second, internal resemblance, and now that becomes much more intense. Now, not only you are saying that externally you look like these 3 Buddhas, but internally you possess all qualities of these 3 enlightened beings, Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, and Vajrapani. So, in second practice, visualization or the meditation becomes much more powerful and much more profound.
당 올라빠 라다 야르마치 부고네 소와타 상 세디가라 오네 다 너야 치디 다가 미체마 다가란 도야래 낭이 사무다야데 지는 뭐지 아니베 캠베차니 잠베야만 칸디스나 베 예치드비야 맹에 추는 오마로나 니추린 니 오마르데 체도 구마로와 와다 지는 뭐지 베 캠베 zude jerum chedan jambiani yeche duya mege sewe zude ani jerezi da ani be jerum buchi be yeche duya mege be tega ndinde batashi mo la be la da yarma chiba ani chan nyubi chade jerum buchi da ani be chana dorji ani be mo ye cheme ba be mo chibi chikyando tatuya tendi kitawe bone solate yondegala ta shibuji 소소 때베 풀모야나 푸 운이 연된데 통이나 아니베 리승 공부가 연된데 통 이제는 부제니 켄진이 숨이 연된데 라라 디나 때베 풀모야라 슈 핑겨레 아니 소세 파르체세야라 핑거레 튕킹 무뚝뚝이야라 니바처럼 거래 띵운이 라미 땡지 숨고도 오세
So first is external resemblance, second internal resemblance, and third inseparability. Inseparability in a sense that Lama Tsongkhapa is not separate from those 3 deities or 3 Buddhas. And here under third kind of section, you in your visualization, not only Lama Tsongkhapa is resemblance those 3 enlightened beings, not only you possess same knowledge as they have, but you are in fact inseparable. You are in fact one with Avalokiteshvara. Therefore, you possess all compassion, just like Avalokiteshvara. You are one with Manjushri. Therefore, you possess all wisdom of Manjushri. And also you are one with Vaishabhani, therefore you possess all power and ability of all Buddhas. So with that visualization of inseparability, and make earnest request and prayer, not only this will help kind of increasing one's faith and trust and belief, but also it helps in purifications of obstacles, receiving blessings. And this seeing of three abilities in Lama Tsongkhapa, or seeing these three deities or enlightened beings as one with Lama Tsongkhapa makes all of these much more effective and productive.
아니 디치 좀근데 미미체베트시 제리지 디메kimbo 먼저면 누구몰린 줄 상회다 간쟁급이 중에 종가 로잔라비잘라 소한데 제야데 다치 치만이데 제르무지 숨 말에데 칭가마도 차사 제르무지랑 그 숨겨래 제르무지 숨 아니 제르무지 렌다와라 더버프레데 미미체베트시 제리지 디메kimbo 먼저면 누구몰린 줄 상회다 간쟁급이 중에 렌다와 유놀로지 잡라 소한데 제르무지게 rendawa junulodula paswate ene junulodegi si chimade khagyurje entinga eba mindusi ngale ene be kerala shuda be eba chendusi ene keraba ene be di sungu ngo yarme chibade kerala rendu di indigala kerala eba chendu si tamani de khagyurnanje 간청케비 중인 송가바 로상 잡이잡로 소한데 두시네 khagyurnanje 수 대법피어래 이든 렌다와다 제는 뭐지 이든 렌다와 사캬기 개바침부시래 와다 제는 뭐지냐나 펀순 라로래 와다 두시 인디가라 숭비 진진 시부진 인세 숭균지 라 제는 뭐지 랑길 자좀 나인다 다 바기 가르소래 리숭 군뱅온 이안 맨데겐지 줄바지기 자좀 나인다 자참버리 이제 숭균지라지 대수도와
This verse is considered a very blessed and sacred, because this verse is actually composed by Lama Tsongkhapa himself. Not the final two sentences, but first three sentences. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of compassion, not aimed at dualistic existence, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, and Vaishabhani, who smashes all the armies of demons. Because initially this was composed by Lama Tsongkhapa himself, and he composed this for his one of his main teacher, Rendawa Shunulod. That's his full name. So actually it was Lama Tsongkhapa concluding, saying that, "O Rendawa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Shunulod, I make request at your feet." And Rendawa, one of the great a scholar of the Sakya tradition, and as you know, Lama Tsongkhapa was the Gelugpa, and then Rendawa in response mentioned that this fits you more than me, so therefore he changed last two sentence and changed from his name to Tsongkhapa. So it's, "O Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Lobsan Thapa, I make request at your feet." So therefore this prayer becomes kind of composition by Lama Tsongkhapa himself, and so therefore as said before, considered as a very sacred and highly blessed prayer.
어떤 두스레 당원에 다디 소세 파르체셀리아가 사무당이나 또 차나도 지는 소진이 미지마 사가이나 수종 같은 파르체셀라 핑거래 어다 시럽두에이나 잠베안소 때나니 자 알아봤다 시럽두고 올려요 대딩인 될지야와 아니 자 알아봤다 또 사무당데 아니 미지마 사가이나 아니 시럽두야래요 펜도 아니 니지 뭐 플리알 사무당나 체리 살도도니 제름부지 제리지 살도도네 미즈마사나 아니 수수 그 니식게야 상태에 팽기르서 송도와 어떻게 인도가 뭐네 즉 미즈마사나 카리나 즉 바르체셀라 시비지 니바이 겨지레스 딩아 냠뇨요
And this practice can also done for specific purposes. If your practice is more for purifications of obstacles and barriers and purification, you can focus from these three more on the Chanrasi in the emanation of, Vajrapani in the emanation of Tsongkhapa. And you can focus more on that for purification and purifications of obstacles. And if your purpose is more of gaining intelligence or wisdom, then you can use Manjushri aspect, and especially it will come later, Manjushri aspect and with the mantra of Arapatsa, And if you are using this practice more towards or more for compassion, then you can focus upon Avalokiteshvara aspect, Buddha of compassion, and it can have many different kind of benefits based on how you practice it, and especially for purifications of obstacles, which Kajula said he has his own kind of experiences of this prayer.
어제 mamanga zangar 누디가라 또 띵물에 그 가단람이 게 티다 망보라래 설정이 자고는 비저네 티라 아니 디디다 가로 마 이것이 다 괜찮을 레들이 가로지 다 삼로 고르고래 아니 뭐지 가단에게 티 난데게도 그때 나지 미림지 짱기 대인자 그 거기 zangarle 가라 본다지 미사지 나라 다 인중을 분자래 대나라 아니 부구지 파치로 던진 사루마루지라 아니 던지지니 아니 부드나 나는 다 미드도 톨 타이마다 민도 간지 칸에 와 용게다 미톤 사야 아니 다 소소 가만히 라마망부 다 겨울을 치기네 나 철망부라요 힙지나 바니나네 라요 아니 즉 자고는 무치다 아니 근데 라마망부 가네 간달라게 티티 라인자 소소 년반 친여래 이 콜라 년반 간단 미즈만 몸망부 사요 몸 가시 사요 어다도 스체네 텐데기 니바체네 아니 텐데 마다메데 아니다 미잔데기 나는 내여데가라 보고데 텐데지데가라 아마데 무이체 아니 텐데지기도세 엥에 파게서 간달라게 마진데 미바야 제또또베 제르무체다네 차나도지니 가서 투투집에 소소 즉 모여면서 대법 가서다 배 삼단에 가서 툭툭 삼단에 미바 쇼기 양처럼 미바 주구지도 삼단 장거지 미즈마진 던지 푸지기야인데 다가라는데 미상와 쇼상 부들라 아니 건조 암지 쓸래로 부자차래 오늘 소소기 때빠다 되게 카 둥기에나 다 딜라 니바 민두세야 된 싸와니 맹엔지래 오늘에 딩아냠뉴 중교래 나텐디기 미바 템보 얘기하다한테 내 말을 미바 쇼르기 양께로 배 삼단 두스체래 어다 두스 인도가라 덴덴디 미바 쳐부지 아래 어다 때 많이 봐 소소 오네 장 쳐고토나 미지만 뭉지 마사바 장 쳐고고 왕코라 난기 말해 덴디 튀기나 방기 다 오는 시기기 즉 양 세럽두고 미바데서 아니 주고가 라메기 지제기 냠는 데리지나 뒤도단 팽야 용인 데리 차들 오늘 민제마다 시부진 진입 전부 시부지래스
So he was saying he had to receive many transmissions of these teachings, from different lamas, such as two teachers of His Holiness, and one also from Thakum Rinpoche at the time almost when he is finishing his Geshe degree, and and after receiving transmissions of this teaching, he did his best to kind of maintain practice through visualization and recitations of mantra. And he also stayed for retreat for this practice, which requires recitations of several 100,000 mantra or this verse. And so in his own experience, at one time he was staying in Ladakh, Zanskar, in one of his relatives, and one of their child had a certain kind of illness, and family members were crying and not able to kind of call physicians at times. So, and they kind of asked him, and he, recite this verse 100 times on his mala, and then with very focused kind of visualization as much as he can, even when there's instability of the concentration, especially focusing on Manjushri and Vajrapani. Then he kind of blew his kind of air or on that child, and immediately kind of child went kind of into calmness and was free from that sudden illness. And so he feels that it's there's a if practiced properly, it has its own power, forces, ability, and these practices, for example, teaching cycles of Manjushri, when you receive transmissions of teachings, it is not given kind of openly or easily. Perhaps the receivers must accumulate like 100,000 mantras before receiving these kind of teachings, and 6 kind of cycle prayer or recitations. Later we will see kind of it it is related, or it involves in the practice of highest yoga tantra.
What's Tindiki, that's a chambuchi, right? That's a museum on our Chavina, a Tanda Chana, the most thing was. That was a Yundu Pagi Mizima Tantan to Gala, Tatani, Chitigala, Cook Nakor Tatana, the way of Mari, she got Tatankari. Any month Sange, she got Sagari, Sayaki, Juniore. Tindi, you got Chitigala, the woman in Jonsete, any Zashagores. What the Chitigala, Karzana, Sewat and Niji, any Jambean ta lam tapsing la nyanmen che to chebeina ku ni badar rajing ki tub yong korwa te wangi oda jigor sangengi oda samte tangore lam tapsing to ngazo yundu ta nyanmen che da chadiore lo jong lo jangede lam tapsing ki 장주 ki semgi ani ran chinjinde rancin진 메아서야다. 되기 제리질라 소화돼. 아니 통이 더벨로 되기 아니 젠진 메버서야. 되게 아니 배 캐럽 잠비앙라 소화돼. 루치디가라 유바 아니 배 야진치기다 냠민치기 니가 디나 창용 거야자 니바다 라신 용거야자 루치네 치치마도 공야돼 유전 데리지다. 아니 따따나 고 저대디 보면은 Then you can eat and jaguars. Young chick the Jasha, the Tazu, Pentome, the Jabba, the Mares.
Do you need the color?
La
Judging
Chigida, and Yamin Lapjin Chig Zamotagi.
Oh, somewhat like you, the
Yajin Chigi.
What we just read in your book is, as said before, it's a 5-line prayer, and in the 5-line prayer, you actually see a dimension of Vaishapani, Vaishapani who smashes all the armies of demons. But in 4-line prayers or 4-cycle prayers, you don't see literally this Vaishapani, that sentence. And for some reason, and one reason is that the 4-cycle or 4-line prayer is mainly used when monks kind of enchanting with a rhythm and tone, and so when they do that, it doesn't fit properly with the rhythm of the chanting. And more importantly, in our daily practices, what is more important is the combination of method and wisdom. So when you are focused on method here being practice of compassion, and wisdom being practice of manjushri, when you have a good practice of these two combination, Vaishapani's aspect will arises kind of naturally. So therefore, combination of those two are given more kind of importance. And in ordinary practice, as you know, the antidote for self-cherishing, egocentric thought is the practice of altruism. Compassion comes there. And then the antidote for truth-grasping, ignorant mind, understanding of emptiness is needed, and for that comes the wisdom, manjushri practice. And therefore, when we recite that 4-line prayer, it is short, easy to recite in chanting with rhythm and tone, but it also involves both two lineages, profound lineages of concept or view or philosophy, and then extensive views of the practices. So it is a combination of both method and wisdom.
유바팅이 또 냠는잖아. 그 뉴바라신기 통용에 차이고 와. 딘디 친구스 마베나 그 초인상 디기 원그 제바레스. 와도 두스네 미제마 nga khorde tingu su yaje jigorjena ta ti meaje ta jugorje digala teganla nguju kunjung thongado jang ani jere moche da ani be zajaga temba nyameshagi gyabo ngo yarme to ba rangi chinjza balama ngo yarme tene swatana tegala nguju kunjung thongado jang mimi zeveter chirisi te gyakores nguju kunjung de
And and if you recite or do the practice of 6-line prayer or 6-cycle prayer, then there's an additional 1 sentence at the beginning of this verse before you are Avalokiteshvara in great treasure. There's a verse which I think it's not in your prayer book. It's the origin or the sources of all the blessings or all the accomplishment, and that is the beginning. Extra sentence that is said before the beginning of this verse. So with that, that becomes in Tibetan 6 sentences or 6-line prayer.
Although 겨울무지경 하는 아마 디풍나 람림 남도가라 맞아 야 겨울무지경네 예르무지다니 겨울무지 자자템바 오 예르메타네 니 갈단레기고는 냠nen체지 예 디디순 디디 겨울무지랑 네베 시든점베다 오 예르메치비다나 초즈 가나서 네 당가나서 망체 겨울무지 때빠 영엔지네리 겨울무지 산다스텐디지 디레 아니 갈단레기인데 겨울무지다 갈단레기 오 예르메타 니 디고니 애니베 겨울무지 생아사기나 겨울무지 굳이 밖에 르르 쳐야단 텐데라 당연히 소소란 소남 사야단 텐데 펜다 연구 인디가라 어때디 맞춰봐 주니어 말이 그래서 튀기요 겨울무지 기요 인디가라 맞춰 겨울무지 때 초즈 가난 샤디가라 오늘 결혼도 있는 두스 남기나 니 삼들 두스 삼단계에서 겨울무지 가난 인산데 펜데 뱅그레스
제르무지의
겨울무치도 지름무치
Alright.
뭐 열매들 타고 보내 애니 겨울무치 생아사야 아니 생아 때문에 사마다 아니 배 단다디 가리라베 거러진 감사되는 다 머리 끈이 엄마로 겨울무치 때바 이치진 징은 대사는 뒤강 망체 가요여를
In one of His Holiness teachings of Lamrim, he also mentioned about he himself does this, does this practice, seeing or visualization in which Lama Tsongkhapa and His Holiness as a one, inseparability of Lama Tsongkhapa and His Holiness, and for he kind of gave that kind of consent and sort of permission, and as a follower of His Holiness in our time, it would make a big difference, great contribution, and with that kind of visualization, you can recite the prayers of His Holiness long life. You can recite his mantra. If not, you can also recite, in the lands covered by snow-white mountains, so reciting that, and that will become kind of prayers for his long life, and also for followers accumulations of positive merits.
어디 두스레스 어다 미제마다 두고르든 거 게고 구고르데 요래 구고르데 라마초베칼라 만체 라마초베바기 사야 참지요래 데갈라 사그리 어다디 또 진다도 균도 먹어 인상 고 이제 세계 먹어 제샤나스 아니 소저체 대주고 때니 맞아 셔럽도 고르기 셔럽 두비야게 미빠지요래 아니 미빠숨데 들이 유튜브나 삼거도스
And 7, then 8 and 9 line prayers or 9 cycle, these are not so commonly kind of practiced, and 9 line prayers especially comes in the practice of Guru Yoga practice. In that you find that 9 cycle, but we won't go with those. And after the break, we will talk briefly about accomplishing or receiving blessings of wisdom, and through kind of 3 different visualizations. We'll take a break here.